I mean, the Bucks, their old phrase, "own the future," has now been stolen by the Packers.
Yeah, just a wake up call. Ain't no walking out, you better wake up, dog. Yeah, just a wake up call. Every other day I'm getting cake right.
What's up, y'all? It's your homie Cloud Boy Bales, and welcome to another episode of Wake Up Call. Well, so this is my post-draft episode. I've been really busy with homework, so that's why I didn't make a video up until now. So if you're wondering why it took me almost a week to get it out, I am sorry. But I have a busy life because I'm a college student and I'm getting down to the nitty-gritty. Only got a couple weeks left. And then it's the most boring summer of my life imaginable. So yay. Anyways, I wanted to talk about the draft. So a lot of people have really been upset because the Packers have basically drafted like they're preparing for the future, which is, I think, something that, I thought they were going to do in the draft, but I didn't think they were going to completely take it to a step where they'd basically find Rodgers' replacement and Aaron Jones' replacement, as well as some guys on the offensive line, and yeah, it sucks. And we didn't even draft a wide receiver either. The only wide receiver we signed as a free agent was Darrell Stewart Jr. out of Michigan State. Probably someone who won't even make the team. And I'm going to get to the wide receiver part in a bit because Packers do have, wide receivers on their roster. They have plenty of them, so I feel like they did not get one because they must have trust in who they have. So I'm going to start with Jordan Love. Had a phenomenal sophomore year. Led the Utah State Aggies to 11-2 record. Like, really good numbers. Like, think like 30 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. I mean, nothing gets better than that. And then this year, he went down to set 20 touchdowns and 17 interceptions. Now, I'm sitting there and I'm like, what happened? How did he get so good to how he gets so bad? Well, as a Wisconsin Badger fan, one of our coaches was Gary Anderson, who went to Utah State and coached him last year. If that doesn't explain it, I don't know what will. I mean, Utah State was 11-2, and then they went like 7-5 or something. I don't know. Like they went bad because Gary Anderson's a terrible coach. So I'm not convinced. I thought Jordan Love was the best quarterback in this draft. His decision-making ability is just the only thing that is a weakness, but everything else, he has throws like Patrick Mahomes. He can get out of the pocket. He can do a lot of things. I'm really impressed with the guy. I really am. So I'm excited. What does that mean for Rodgers? Who knows? He might be gone. He might be traded within a year or two. Of course, he'll be on the team this year because he's the veteran, but Jordan Love needs that work, and once he works with Rodgers, he's going to get so much better, and I'm really impressed. So, I think, it's not the best pick. I obviously rate the pick like a D, only because they could have picked up a wide receiver in the first round, but I mean, it's all right. You know what? I was sitting there and I was like, they'll get someone better in the second round. They sort of did that and sort of not. The guy they got was A.J. Dillon out of Boston College, running back. I would have said this. I would say this. He's going to be the future for the team. We just figured that out. Jamal Williams and Aaron Jones, I found out, are at the lowest of the low to re-sign. They said Bakhtiari's a priority. Kenny Clark's a priority. Those two are the biggest priorities. They need to be re-signed, which I think is just really important for like anybody. So, sorry, I just got to make sure I'm not getting any updates. So anyways, AJ Dillon is just like a Maurice Jones-Drew. That's his best comparison. I mean, the only reason why we got him is because look at Matt LaFleur. Matt LaFleur wants power running. He wants an offense that's based on power running. He was able to work with Derrick Henry, and I feel like he wanted that with the Packers. AJ Dillon was the closest to it. I think he's going to be really good for this team. And I love that pick. I do. The other pick that we got was Josiah DeGuara, who actually I found out they said that he's going to be their second string tight end behind Sternberger. Tanyan will get a lot of reps, and Mercedes Lewis, of course, one of the best blockers. Of course he's going to be in there, but I think they're really full at tight end if you ask me, but what I heard is they plan on having DeGuara play fullback, which is a little interesting to hear, but I really do love that choice. He can play any position. He can even run the ball. He's super fast, super quick. He's literally Vitale, but I think he's younger and he's more improved, and I feel like this is a guy we could actually use a lot more. And I'm really happy with this choice. We're really set at the tight end position, which is a good plus. Now, I'm going to talk about Kamar out of the guy out of Minnesota we got. I can't think of the name, but he's an inside linebacker. But the thing is, I haven't really seen the biggest weaknesses with him, but he's a run stuffer, which is what we've been looking for a long time. So that's a good thing. That's a big plus. Do I think he's a star? No, but he's a good fill. It's a good hole that you got. Oren Burks isn't really the guy. You got Kirksey and Holman hopefully will be the starters. We might Ty Summers or Oren Burks may come along or someone else, but I like what they have. I really do. And then in the 6th round, we got a bunch of offensive linemen. We signed this one guy from Oregon. Likely will be the replacement of Corey Linsley. I know he's 3rd on the list for Packers they want to re-sign, but knowing that the Packers have all this, don't have all the money, they're going to spend all this money on Bakhtiari and Clark. There's really going to be no way they re-sign Linsley. He might be even cut at camp. So personally, I think this guy from Oregon might be the starter. He had some pretty good highlights. I mean, centers aren't really common in the draft, so usually any center that comes out is usually good because all they got to do is snap the ball. Pretty simple. We'll see how this guy does. And then also the guy out of Michigan was really good. The tackle will play backup role. He can also play guard. The guy out of Indiana that can play guard is really good. I think we're really filled at line. And then the 7th round picks were just some backups. So that's my pluses. I don't want to get into the negatives. I said myself, I'm not going to be negative because I don't want people to look at me and say, oh, he's a negative person. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm happy we got Love. I was a fan of him from the start. I think he can improve, and I feel like he has much room for improvement. And Dillon is a great pick. DeGuara is a great pick. And you know what? They did some things. Later on in the rounds, they did fill some holes. But the problem was, obviously, this draft class now is probably rated a D, but in the future, it could go up to maybe a B if it ends up being that way. I think we'll see how this goes. I mean, if Jordan Love ends up being really good and a franchise player, so be it. What happens if we just keep Aaron Rodgers and have Jordan Love be a backup, and then Jordan Love gets traded, just like Garoppolo? I don't want to have that happen. I don't. So I'm impressed. We'll see what happens. I think having Rodgers as a mentor is going to really help Jordan Love make this better with. And then Dillon will likely be the starter in his 2nd year because I don't think they're going to re-sign Aaron Jones because I don't think they'll have enough money for him, and Jamal Williams might even be cut by training camp this year. They might even draft another running back, but if they want power running, that's what they're going to use. They might have Dillon's going to probably get 100 carries within the year. Jones is going to get a bunch of carries in the year, and then Jamal Williams will probably be a 3rd down back or something. He might even not even make the team. Don't forget, Tyler Ervin is another running back, even though he's our punt guy. That's another guy. But I think it's a real good future. This team has a real good future. It's just the problem is what's going to happen with Rodgers. That's what everyone's still wondering to this day. So anyways, a lot of people were upset that we did not draft a single wide receiver. So I'm going to explain why they didn't. Because so I'm going to explain to everybody who we have at wide receiver, because a lot of people don't really realize that we do have wide receivers that have been really good for our team. And usually in the future years, they've come on. So, I mean, Geronimo Allison was cut only because he had a terrible year. Now, here are the wide receivers we have. Davante Adams. Now, of course, Davante Adams is your veteran, your starter, and your outstanding player, that one of the best wide receivers in the game. So the real question is, who is his complementary piece? There's been talk that Curtis Samuel we might be making a trade for Curtis Samuel. It'd be a great pickup. I'd like that as a slot. But I'm going to talk about some of the guys that we also have on the team right now. Devin Funchess, the former Panther and Colt, was signed by a 1-year contract, only a really cheap deal. I think it's a good pickup. Could get a lot of playing time. He could be a bust. I don't know how it could be. He could even, but he might not even make the team. But he's a great receiver. I mean, he was a number 1 receiver 2 years ago. Don't count him out. He could be a number 2. Next up, you have Alan Lazard. Played a lot of time. I mean, a lot of time, really. Because he was just, I mean, Lazard was phenomenal. One of the best receivers we probably had in a while. 3 touchdowns, a bunch of yards. They're really the number 2 wide receiver on the team. But he really isn't a number 2, so I feel like he could come in and do some clutch plays. Next up, we have Marquez Valdes-Scantling. A guy that really, everyone thinks that really should be cut, but I feel like you got to give the guy another chance. And then, of course, Quamius St. Brown, a guy that didn't even play at all last year because he was on the IR. Then you got Jake Kumaro, and of course, Whitewater Jesus. That's his nickname, but and he's a great player. I feel like a guy that could get given a lot more playing time. So, and then later on, they some of the other guys that I found on their team. So, of course, they got Darrell Stewart Jr. from Michigan State. Good player, but I don't think he'll make the team. Then there's Darius Shepard. A lot of people forgot about him. He really looked good in preseason. Then he was put on the practice squad due to not the best performance we've seen, but everyone thought he'd be the slot guy, but he just didn't really full. I feel like he'd get given another chance, but he might not even make the team. Then there's Kabian Ento. Never even heard of this guy. We just picked him up randomly. Then there's Malik Taylor, a guy that's been on our practice squad for the last 2 years, I think. Don't forget about him. And this is the guy I just watched a little video on this guy, but his name is Reggie Begelton. He's out of Canada, the Calgary Stampeders, their football team. He looks really good. He's fast. He does a lot of jet sweeps. He does a lot of things, and maybe he's the answer. Maybe that's why they didn't draft a wide receiver. Maybe they're trading for someone. That's another option. But Reggie Begelton is someone that might even be the next out of the ordinary guy. He's 26 years old. He's just like Kumaro. He's about Kumaro's age. I think Begelton deserves a shot, and a lot of people are going to be shocked with this guy. This guy can do some really good things. Hasn't been given a number yet, but anyone who wears number 84 is really going to have a great career, and no one actually has that number taken, so I hope he takes it, because anyone who wears that with the Packers usually is successful, so that's the thing. So I'm really excited to see what comes for the wide receivers, but it should be a great year. Now the thing is, they got to work on their offensive line. They're free agents. That's the real question, but who are they going to re-sign and who not? Of course, Bakhtiari and Clark are going to be the guys they really try to focus on. King won't be re-signed. Corey Linsley won't be re-signed. Aaron Jones won't be re-signed. Jamal Williams won't be re-signed. So same as Lane Taylor, Billy Turner, a bunch of the other guys. A bunch of even Lazard, Kumaro, like other guys like that. You know, if this is how it is, you gotta understand how free agency works. You only have enough money to re-sign people. If Rodgers leaves, then we have a lot of money and we're going to be getting a lot of good players. That will be a good bonus. That would be a good thing. And it's going to be a rebuilding year. Maybe Jordan Love will be good. I don't know. But I want to be positive. Everybody has to be positive through everything. That's just the goal for this. So, anyways, I'll just finish off with talking about the Wisconsin Badgers who all got drafted. Jonathan Taylor got drafted to the Indianapolis Colts wearing number 28. He will be great. He'll start. I mean, Marlon Mack is like now their starter, but Taylor has so much talent. He'll easily take over the starting job. Great pickup for the Colts. They traded up for him in the second round. I love that pick. That's great. Then Zach Bowen did not get drafted until the third round. People thought he was going to be a first rounder, but because of the whole diluted sample thing, he got pushed back to the third round. He got drafted by the Saints, a team that actually was interested in him. Saints were lucky enough to get him. Great pickup for them. I feel like he'll fit along in their offense really well. Then Tyler Biadasz, who's the center on the Badgers, got drafted by the Cowboys. Who better? I mean, you replace one Badger center with another Badger center. You cut one head off, two shall take its place. Okay, I'm just saying stupid Hydra quotes from Marvel. Blah. Anyways, but it's a great pickup for Dallas. Dallas loves the lineman. That's just how it works. Then Quintez Cephas actually was drafted in the fifth, but the Lions took him, which was a big play for them. I love that. I mean, the Lions got a great playmaker. Lions got some good receivers. So that's a great pick for Cephas to get targets from Matthew Stafford. I think he'll totally fit with that offense. And then finally, Chris Orr was signed as an unrestricted free agent with the Carolina Panthers. So good for them. We don't know when the season will start, but it should just be. It's gonna take time. We'll see how it goes. Anyways, we'll see how things go, but I'm just gonna keep chugging along. That's what my goal is. So, in case you were wondering, it's Cutboy Bales signing off on another episode of Wake Up Call. We'll see you next time. I don't know what I'll be talking about, but if you want to comment below on some ideas that I can talk about, that would be absolutely fantastic. There's really no sports going on, so I'd love to hear updates from you. I'd love to get some help, and that would be great. So I hope you all are taking care of yourselves. Please stay safe. I want to be back out there as soon as possible. I miss everybody. I miss my friends, and we'll see how it goes. So please take care of each other.